I'm talking 4,000 or 5,000 watt inverters, mount them permanently in your vehicle, and run extension cords from your vehicle to your home. And there's some modifications, things you got to do when they get larger like that. Maybe you even need to have double batteries in your vehicle, which you can do, adding double batteries in parallel. I think that's right, in parallel, or is it series? In series. So you keep the same 12 volt. There's so many modifications you can do for that. I think another important aspect is, of course, communications.
Yep.
Especially in emergency, communications are extremely important. And especially people evacuating for the hurricane, they need to know where things are happening, where they need to go. And we talk about ham radio all the time and different communications,
ham
which
radio,
we can get into.
CD radio. I mean, there's so many types of radio you can put in your vehicle. Let's take a caller. Hey, thanks for calling KTalk. You are on the air. What's your name?
This is Mike.
Hey, Mike.
Thanks for joining us today. You got a comment for us?
Hey, I just want to, just a precautionary measurement. When you got your Dodge truck hooked up to your Frigidaire, and then you decide to take off down the highway, don't forget to unplug your Frigidaire.
That's
great point.
Great point. It's the same as going to the gas station and not taking the gas.
Driving off without
not taking the hose out of your car.
Maybe do a little less damage, though.
But that also gives you, that's a great point also, because it's like you always want to check your surroundings, always want to be aware of what's going on, what you can and can't do.
Hey, can I say one more thing?
Sure, absolutely.
So the show you was referring to is called Never Cry Wolf. They weren't eating caribou. And that's an actual...
I remember that now,
actual study. That's a true life story.
True story.
That's a fantastic show.
And the other thing you was trying to figure out was, you said you was self-taught. You couldn't figure out the word for that. The word for that is autodidactic.
Yes, that's the word.
Man, Mike,
would you call in more often, please?
I'll keep you guys straight as best I can.
We appreciate it. We could use all the help we can get.
Yeah, no problem. That's the least I could do. Thank you.
All right,
hey,
perfect.
thank
Thanks,
you.
Mike.
Dude, Mike's a stud. That was awesome.
No, I remember that show vividly now.
Yeah.
Never Cry Wolf. What a fantastic show. I'm gonna watch that.
As soon as he said caribou, I'm like, that's what they were. And I'm like,
that's right.
Yeah,
that
awesome.
Okay, awesome. Where were we? Okay,
we're
so we're talking about don't drive
radios.
down the road don't forget to unplug.
Yeah, don't forget to unplug.
Before you take off.
Radios, communications.
Yes, communication. You've got your own power station right there. You know, for communication, especially with like ham radio. You can have shortwave in there where you have your 2 meter 440, 70 centimeter. Those are the local channels that most amateurs work on. But you can also get high frequency rigs for your rig.
Yeah, you go.
And have large antennas attached to it. You've seen these guys driving down the road, right? These huge antennas on the side of their vehicle for whatever reason, and where you can go high frequency and reach literally hundreds and hundreds of miles, or even thousands of miles.
That's what's being used. That and like long range. Oh my gosh, radios on the ocean, water.
Just marine.
Marine
it's
radio.
just different frequencies.
Like different frequencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the disasters that are going on with hurricanes and things like that, like that's what they're using is ham and
you can
marine
listen
radios.
in if you have the right radios. You can listen into these frequencies.
To both.
You can't necessarily transmit on those.
Correct.
But you can listen
Except
in.
in case of emergency, you can.
Well, some radios are not. You would have to break what's called break the radio in order to transmit on those frequencies. The radios don't allow you to broadcast on certain frequencies.
Correct. I was just thinking if you have a broadcast ability, like
right,
you can break the rule.
Right. Exactly.
In an emergency.
And so, communications. Obviously, you plug your phone in there. It's easy to charge. You all know about that.
Yep.
You've got your CBs. CB is a great short distance communication device between family, within a city.
And there are great apps for your phone that turn your phone into a two-way radio.
That's true.
So you can have a shortwave
little devices you plug into.
Yeah.
And there's also GMRS. I think I've seen that.
Yep. GMRS.
GMRS, which is like your little two-way radios, the little toys almost you play with.
Most of them are like little Motorola's.
Yeah, exactly. You can also buy those for your vehicle. Mm-hmm. They have small base stations that kind of look like a CB, but they're GMRS, and they have them up to 15 watts. So most handhelds are up to 5 watts. You can get 15-watt little base stations with a magnetic antenna mount on your roof. What a great way to communicate within a fairly small radius is the GMRS.
And if there are no other, electrical interferences, your range
it's
is
radio
cleaner.
to radio.
Yeah.
There's no towers needed. So
Absolutely.
What a great base station for your communication is your vehicle.
Car. Yep.
Mount your antennas on it. You can drive it to a higher location to get better reception. Anyway, fantastic.
Well, that leads me to the next thing. Maps.
maps.
Road atlas.
Yes.
Like if you can have all 50 states, get all 50 states.
And so not just a GPS, right? I mean,
I'm talking paper, right?
Yep.
I'm talking physical. Having a compass, a good working compass, not just the compass in your car, the digital one, because that doesn't give you a whole lot of help, but being able to triangulate your location in case you get lost, being able to use the map routes to figure out a way to get to where you need to go when nothing else is working. Because if GPS is down, hey, guess what? You're going to be needing those road atlases. Having those, I have in my car, in the 4Runner, I have a state atlas, and I also have a topographical map for the Wasatch Front. So I'm okay finding where I'm going and doing what I need to do.
And these atlases are like 30, 40 pages thick with full-size 11 by 17 sheets where they're fairly detailed maps. And so I would add to that, take this and highlight your escape routes. If you need to bug out,
your evacuation routes,
and make that plan in advance. You have your primary, your alternate, and your
tertiary,
your emergency plan. Yeah. So your 3 different routes, A, B, C, maybe D or E, of getting out.
Well, and you may have different routes for different types of emergencies.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's a natural disaster like a fire, you'll have an evacuation plan for that, depending on where you can relocate to. If you're bugging out, strategic relocation permanently, you might be going somewhere else that you may have 3 or 4 routes to get to. If there's only one route to get there, you're going to be kind of sunk if that route gets clogged.
I think that's also an advantage to having an SUV or 4-wheel drive with higher clearance, a sport utility or a crossover, is you can then look towards using it off-road, looking for those less traveled, bumpier roads that may be impassable to a regular car.
Which gives you a fun thing to do on weekends.
Exactly.
To go find new routes.
Absolutely.
And that's probably why you do what you do.
That's one of the reasons, absolutely. I love it.
I mean, you've got pretty,
nice
iconic suspension,
yes.
Right?
Yeah, one of the ideas behind the 4Runner, we call it the 4Runner Evader, and I think this definitely needs some attention before we end here, is that in choosing a vehicle, it's, I'd like to be the gray man. You'd like to go quick and quiet, unnoticed, and not create a lot of attention. So when you're going through a dangerous situation, you can do it quietly and quickly and not have to slow down. And so that's why I have some nicer suspension on there. But we got a call.
Yeah,
let's go ahead and
take
this
call. Hey, thanks for calling KTalk. You are on the air. What's your name?
Beverly.
Beverly, thanks for calling in. What have you got for us?
You were talking about having things in your car. One thing I've been wanting to do and haven't done but want to, and that is to have a thumb drive with copies of important documents that could be printed. That would be really necessary, especially I wonder how many people that have been, where their homes have been flooded, how many have to struggle to get, regroup any kind of documentation about anything.
Yeah, take pictures of your home and all your possessions, for your insurance purposes, put them on that drive and have it with you. Absolutely.
Then titles to vehicles and homes or property
marriage
or
licenses,
tax,
all that kind of stuff.
all kinds of things. So
and certain personal identification and your taxes. Some of those, it's good to have a paper copy as well, in case there's an electrical issue where you can't get to a computer.
Or you have your binder.
Have a binder as well, or a good Ziploc bag that you can throw a bunch of papers in. Just keep that under the seat in the car.
If a person were to create a binder with all the important things and then do the scanning and get it on a thumb drive, that would probably be a good way to go.
And you can print it on waterproof paper as well.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Yeah.
So now you know what your assignment is for the weekend.
Yeah, I've had that on my list as well. I've got to get that thumb drive ready. Thank you, Beverly, for the call. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So in our last few minutes, should we go through a list of items here?
Yes.
Okay.
I like your lists.
Okay. I've got a huge list, and we may not be able to do it here in the next 3 minutes. But obviously your basics, which everybody should have regardless of the situation. Jumper cables. You should have water in there, whether it be just a couple of liters in there or a couple of gallons in there. Of course,
first aid kits.
Check your spare. Make sure it's inflated and it works. Yes. Make sure you have all the tools. Like when you buy a used vehicle, sometimes you'll open it up and the jack won't be there, or the wrench won't be there, and when you need it most, you realize it's not there, and then you're in trouble. That's happened to me before.
Or they could have, rusted, or something could happen that it's no longer
right. It's not functioning. Like the scissor jack isn't working right. It got bent. It's not. Yeah, absolutely. So
practice. Check and test and practice. additional tools.
Yeah,
right?
Additional tools. And hopefully you've had your car long enough, you know what goes wrong with it, and you know how to fix it.
Yep.
Have those tools, maybe some spare parts in there as well. And it's obviously when we go off-road, there's certain things that you can break.
Yep.
So I carry some spare parts in there, like U-joints and so forth, that I can fix in a pinch if I end up breaking them off-road. Excuse me.
Blankets.
Woo. Yep, absolutely. Blankets.
Good wool blanket.
No excuse not to have blankets in there all year round.
And you don't even have to have it all folded up nice. You can just lay it out flat and put everything else on it, and then it's out of the way. And
you can use it to carry things in, and you can use it to keep yourself warm. You can use it to work on your vehicle.
Well, and if you have to abandon your vehicle, you can use it to carry off stuff, right? Mm-hmm. But you can also use your seat covers and repurpose those, and your seat belts and repurpose those to create pouches and things you can carry off whatever you need to carry off.
Yeah, absolutely. You can use your battery to start fires.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff. So I'd like to have some way to air tire. So a little cheap, crappy 12-volt air compressor. Mm-hmm. They work really well. They're $20.
It's slow, but it's slow, better than works. Nothing.
Yeah. Chains. If you only have front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive, have some chains for your vehicle in your car.
And the Fix-A-Flat. I love the Fix-A-Flat.
Can Fix-A-Flat. Absolutely. I always have a tow strap. Mm-hmm. Not a chain, not a cable, but a tow strap that's rated for your vehicle that it's called a snatch strap, where you can jerk the vehicle. It's not going to tear the strap, but you can create some momentum and recover a vehicle. So tow strap, very important. Let's see. You got a long list here. Flares, obviously. Mm-hmm. Lots of uses for flares in addition to signaling. You can light your spare tire on fire to create a signal smoke. Let's see, what else here? Gloves.
Good gloves.
That's a sin. Nice leather glove work. Mechanics gloves. I love mechanics gloves. We talked about communications, ham radio.
I like to also have an extra set of shoes, boots in the winter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I also like to have a backup jacket and a poncho. Mm-hmm. Hand warmers and feet warmers. I keep those under the seats. They're easy to find. They're always there.
Here's a little rescue tool, something that can attach to your seat belt or your visor that you can use to break the window in case you find yourself in water, or a way to escape the glass. If your windows won't roll down or anything like that. So exactly, self-rescue. Let's see what else. Of course, fire extinguisher. Mm-hmm. That's we're out of time.
Oh man,
dang it,
man! I wish we had another 20 minutes. This has been a fun show. Thanks for calling in, you guys. Mike and Beverly, awesome content. Shane, thanks for being here as usual.
Oh, yeah.
We'll miss you guys next week, but we'll be back. So stay tuned. You've been listening to Prepper Talk Radio at KTalk AM 1640.
Is credit card debt ruining your life? Now you can have a large portion of your credit card debt forgiven. Get Relief Today wants to give you free information that shows you how. This program is proven to work for credit card debt, medical bills, and department store debt. We'll give you the secret to this money-saving program absolutely free. 800-207-8558. That's 800-207-8558. That's 800-207-8558.
As a small business owner, you make every